welcome to day 11 of Move the Mind. So today we're going to be activating the core and working into the hips a little bit. So have those blocks handy if you have them in your practice, otherwise we're going to meet in a wide knee child's pose. So bringing the balls of the feet together, knees apart. Inhale, extend, and exhale, allow your chest to come in between your hands, in between your knees, bringing the forehead to the mat. And arms can either be out long in front of you, or you can bend the elbows, taking the prayer behind the head, or you can bring both arms either side of the body, whatever suits you today. Maybe just rolling the forehead from side to side, allowing any tension that might be there to just be gently massaged out. Finding your way into your space, into your practice. Taking a deep inhale through the nose and out through the mouth. And more like this, in through the nose and out through the mouth. And just really gifting yourself with a precious few moments of nothing. There is nowhere else you need to be right now, and nothing else that you need to be doing. If for the next 20 minutes you want to stay here in this pose, just focusing on your breath, please allow yourself to do so. That would still be a really generous yoga practice. So maybe just taking this time to check in, notice how you feel today in body, mind and soul. So just checking in, not holding judgment, not berating yourself. Just taking that role of the observer, almost stepping outside of yourself to see how you are, to see what's going on. And taking another deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And if your hands have been bent, bringing them out in front, turning this into a more active child's pose now, so coming up onto the fingertips, really stretching the hands forward. And on the next inhale, making your way into that tabletop pose, knees underneath hips, wrists underneath elbows, underneath shoulders. We're going to get right into this today. So inhaling, the right arm lifts as the left lifts, bringing arm and leg parallel to the floor, really engaging the core, finding your stability in this posture. Those back toes can be tucked if need be. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, bending elbow to knee, finding the crunch. Inhale to extend, really lengthening through arm and leg. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, lengthen and extend, navel to spine. Exhale, finding the crunch. Inhale, really pushing that left hand into the mat, extending. Exhale, crunch. Inhale to extend and stay here. Now you can either stay here, finding your balance, really keeping that navel engaged to the spine, or you can bend that left leg, maybe taking a hold of the outside of the left foot with the right arm. Well, right hand, not the arm. You can use a strap here as well to bring the leg closer towards you. But keeping the shoulders square and maybe starting to kick that left foot back into the right hand, squaring the shoulders to the front of the room, keeping that navel engaged to the spine, not dumping into the lower back. Inhale. Exhale, releasing back into that extension. Then either staying here or planting the right hand down if you'd like more balance. If you want the more challenging option, bringing the right hand out into a T away from the body, as that left leg is also going to extend. I don't really know what the letter equivalent is for that, but really pushing into the left hand and the right knee, trying to keep your hips stable, your shoulders square. Inhale, maybe lifting that left leg a little bit further away from the floor. Exhale, planting right hand and left knee. That is a really hard one to talk through. Inhale, lowering the chest, peeling it through the hands, finding your cow rather. Exhale, navel to spine, finding your cat. Inhale, peeling chest through, finding cow. Exhale, arching the spine, finding cat. Inhale, coming back into a neutral spine, that tabletop. Then keeping the hips directly above the knees and walking the fingertips away from the body, coming into Anahatasana, our puppy posture. So head can be quite far away from the floor if that's enough, or maybe bringing the forehead down to the ground. If that feels super easy, maybe bringing chest to the ground, the chin to the ground. So really aiming to drop the chest down towards the earth. Inhale and exhale. One more inhale here. Exhale, bringing the body through to find your Sphinx pose. So your hands are in the number 11, toes are untucked, elbows above the shoulders, and almost gripping with the fingertips to help ease the chest through the arms. Gaze is out directly in front. Inhale. Exhale, releasing the head down towards the ground, interlacing the hands behind the back. Next, inhale, rising up, finding your lotus, maybe bringing the palms of the hands together, maybe sending the hands further away from the body. Exhale, releasing hands either side of the ribcage, pushing back, finding your child's pose. Coming back to the breath, coming back to the body. Inhale, finding your way back into that neutral tabletop. So slight engagement of the navel to the spine. Tailbone is coming almost down, and you've got one long line from the very crown of your head all the way down to your tailbone. Gaze in between the hands. Because I've got to the other side. So inhaling the left arm up as the right leg lifts. Maybe keeping those back toes tucked if you like it for the balance. But keeping navel super engaged towards the spine. Your core is strong, your core is stable, you have got this. Inhale to prepare, really lengthening the fingertips and the toes away from each other. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale to extend. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, extend, really lengthening through the whole body. Exhale, navel to knee, really curling into a tiny, tiny ball. Inhale, extend. Exhale, elbow to knee, keeping those shoulders square. Inhale, extend and hold. Staying here, trying to keep the hips level, so notice if that right hip is ducking down. Or you can bend that right knee. Inhaling, taking a hold of the outside of the right foot with the left hand. Keeping shoulders square to the front of the mat, maybe starting to kick into that back hand with the foot. Navel to spine. This is not a hip opener here. Noticing for your dumping into the lower back and correcting yourself. Inhale. Exhale to release that right leg, extending the left arm back towards the front of the room. Now you can either bring the left hand down for more balance, or if you do want the added challenge, left hand extends, left arm out towards the left in a T, right leg comes out towards the right. Woo, feeling the shake. Stay with the breath, really extending the body. Can you lift that right leg a little bit higher? Can you keep your navel tucked in towards the spine? Inhale and exhale. One more inhale here. Oh, I'm so shaky. Exhale, coming back into that tabletop. Those ones are tough, so well done if you stayed with me. Well done if you listened to your body and went back into a child's pose if you needed to. Inhale, dropping the belly, finding your way into cow. Exhale, arching through the spine, finding that cat. Inhale, peeling the chest through to cow. Exhale, finding that cat. Inhale, coming back to that neutral spine. Exhaling here. And inhale, just starting to walk the hands away from you as the hips stay above the knees. And maybe bringing the forehead to the ground, maybe bringing the chin to the ground. Maybe coming up onto the very fingertips of the hands if you'd like to get further into the shoulders here. Staying with whatever option works for you. And sending your breath all the way across your shoulders. Inhale. Exhale, rippling the body through, finding our way into Sphinx. And taking a pause here, setting yourself up, finding that stability in the arms. So everything is down on the floor here apart from the chest. Inhale. Exhale, lowering, interlacing the hands behind the back and taking the opposite interlace, so the one that feels a bit icky. Then inhale, sending the palms away from the body as the head lifts, chest lifts, really sending the hands away from the body. Inhale. Exhale, releasing hands, placing them either side of the rib cage, pushing back, finding your child's pose. Maybe just taking a moment to roll the forehead from side to side here. Coming back to the breath, coming back to your stillness. And when you're ready, tucking the toes under, making your way into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Taking a bend in one knee and then the other, pedaling through the feet as much as you need. Before finding your place to that stillness. Really rooting the hands and feet down, making sure each and every finger is pressing into the ground, including the thumbs. Watch if that thumb is coming up. Rolling the eyes of the elbows in towards each other. Shoulders are down away from the ears. Your head can be heavy, looking between your knees, or if that doesn't feel good for the neck, look up in between the thumbs, or directly down. Inhaling, coming high onto the balls of the feet, deep bend in the knees, and then taking as many steps to the top of the mat as you need. Interlacing hands behind the back. Inhale, extending, exhale, folding. Really just sending the wrists away from the body. Keeping the knees soft if that feels good. Maybe finding a few pedals of the legs here, moving the chest as you do so. Inhale, exhale, releasing the hands either side of the body. And then on your next inhale, slowly, allowing yourself to come up, keeping the head heavy, head is last to lift. And finding your way to Tadasana at the top of the mat, either big toes together, heels slightly apart, or feet hips distance apart. Engaging the legs, belly to spine, tailbone tilts down slightly, allowing the spine to grow long from that tailbone, inhaling the shoulders up and away from the ears, spiraling the hands out to the front of the room. Inhale, bringing both arms up above the head, gaze is lifted to thumbs. Exhale to hinge and fold over the legs, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale to look up halfway and lengthen, long straight through the spine. Exhale, planting the hands and stepping back to find plank. Coming through your version of Chaturanga on the exhale, bending the elbows, coming to that halfway point. Inhale, coming through into finding your upward facing dog or your cobra. Exhale, rolling over the toes, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Coming to 3 breaths here, finding the length in the back body, tilting that tailbone up towards the sky. Inhale and exhale. How much more space can you find in the body? Next, inhale high onto the balls of the feet, deep bend in the knees, look between the palms, and jump, step or float to the top of the mat. Inhale, finding that halfway lift. Exhale, hinging and folding. Inhale, soft bend in the knees, push into the ground, coming all the way up, gaze is lifted to thumbs. Exhale, bringing the prayer back through the centre of the chest, hands either side of the body, Tadasana. Inhale, bringing the fingertips to the floor, sinking the hips, finding your way into Utkatasana, chair pose. Inhaling here, sinking a little bit deeper into the hips. Exhale, hinging and folding over the legs. Inhale, looking up halfway to lengthen, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, planting hands and stepping back to find your plank. Inhale, finding your plank, really pushing your hands into the ground, doming through the top of the spine. Navel in towards the spine. Then exhale, coming through your version of chaturanga, finding that halfway point. Inhale, coming to cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, rolling over the toes, downward facing dog. Inhaling, right leg lifts. Exhale, high onto the ball of the left toes as you hug that right knee into the nose, planting right foot in between the hands. Inhale, coming up, finding crescent lunge. So really launching yourself off the toes of that back foot. Inhale here. Exhale, bringing the prayer through the body, tilting the body forward so we're in a diagonal, bending deeper into that right knee. Inhale, lifting left leg away from the floor, finding your warrior three. Keeping the hips square, turning the big toes down towards the floor, engaging through the belly, and almost like you're coming in that cobra or that upward dog with the chest. Inhale here. Exhale, rebending into that right knee, planting that left foot down, extending the right leg, bringing hands either side of the front foot. Inhale, extending the chest. Exhale, fold, pyramid pose. You can be on bricks here. Inhale, finding that length. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bending into the front leg as we swing the right leg back, coming into a three-legged dog. Exhale here. Inhale, option to come through a three-legged chaturanga this time. So inhale, rippling forward with the spine, finding your way into three-legged plank. Now you can either bring your foot down here, come to the knees and come through a normal chaturanga, or you can keep that right leg extended, bringing the weight forward, looking forward, keeping elbows tucked in towards the spine, finding that chaturanga, that halfway point. Then inhale, replacing the feet, coming through upward facing dog. Exhale, rolling over toes, downward facing dog. And coming back to your breath here, coming back to the body, taking a child's pose if you need. Really tuning in and listening to what your body wants to do today. Just seeing how much length and space you can find in the spine. How much breath can you bring into the body? And if you have been in that child's pose, coming back into downward facing dog, because we really do need to do the other side. Inhaling, the left leg lifts. Exhale, high onto the ball of the right foot, rippling forward with the spine to find your left knee coming towards the nose, and then planting left foot up in between the hands. Inhale, coming up to that crescent lunge. So keeping hips square to the front of the room. You can keep hands on hips to help stabilize yourself here. You can also inch that left foot out slightly, inhaling, hands up above the head if that feels good, but making sure you're not dropping that right heel down, right heel is up and engaged. Inhale here. Exhale, bringing the prayer into the heart space, bending deeper into that right leg, left leg rather, as you almost launch your body forward first, coming into a diagonal away from the hips. Lean forward, engage and lift the right leg up and away from the mat. Finding that structure, that stability in the left leg, in the left foot. So you can almost grip into the floor with your big toe if you're feeling a bit wobbly. You can also bring hands onto bricks here if you feel super wobbly. But it's where we wobble, we learn. Turning the right toes down towards the mat, squaring through the hips. That's going to feel, well, you might be feeling that more on your left glute. Inhale. Exhale, starting to bend into that left leg as we gracefully, slowly lower that right leg to the floor. Both hands come either side of that left leg. Inhale, halfway and lengthen. Exhale, hinging and folding. You can come to bricks either side of this left leg here. And just being aware that both sides of the body feel very, very different. So you might be considerably tighter on one side than the other. And also the way balance works. Some days balancing, super easy. Well, not super easy, but it's much more accessible. And then other days it's just not happening. Inhale, lengthening the spine. Exhale, folding. So being kind with yourself. If you fall, you fall. When we fall, we learn. Inhale, bending into that left knee, planting the hands. Really bringing the ball of that right foot to the ground. Inhale, sending left leg up and back, three-legged dog. Again, if you do want to try coming through that three-legged chaturanga, keeping left leg lifted. Inhale, rippling through the body, through the spine, finding your way into that high plank. Exhale, bending the elbows, keeping them tight in towards the body, finding that half plank, that chaturanga. Inhale, coming through upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, rolling over toes, downward facing dog. Really just following whichever transition works for you today. Inhale and exhale, coming high onto the balls of the feet. Next inhale, bend in the knees, look between the palms and make your way into an easy seated position. Bringing the legs out long in front, coming into our forward fold. So you might want to sit up onto a brick here if you are quite stiff in the hips. You can also keep as much of a bend in the knees here as you need. Inhale, extending upwards. Exhale, almost like you're lifting the rib cage up and over the legs. And hands might come to the thighs, they might come to the shins, or you might be able to bring your hands around your feet. But wherever you are, inhale, extend through the spine. Exhale, fold. If you are super flexy, you can bring that block, taking the hands around the block. But trying to keep your gaze towards your feet, unless you're super far down, then maybe starting to bring nose down towards the shins. But on the inhales, letting up a little bit and lengthening, finding that extension of the spine. Exhale to fold a bit deeper. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. And your next inhale, walking yourself back up. Planting the feet down, maybe just scooting the hips forward a little bit, extending the arms, navel to spine. Just seeing if we can keep that engagement all the way down to the ground. Hugging knees into chest. And just taking any final movements that you need, maybe a happy baby, maybe a twist from side to side. Just checking out what your body wants today. Before finding your way down into whichever version of Shavasana works for you. So maybe keeping soles of the feet on the ground, knees up, maybe Supta Baddha Konasana, or maybe allowing those legs to be long on the mat. Rolling the shoulders underneath the body, spiraling the palms up towards the sky. And I do invite you to close the eyes or lower the gaze. Take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. One more like this, in through the nose, let, and out through the mouth. Go. If you do have time for a longer Shavasana, please feel free to stay here, pause the video. But I will leave you here. Thank you so much for your energy, for your practice today. That was a tough one. But thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Namaste.